Ladies and gentlemen, joining me once again on the line, Mr. Steve Byrne. Hey, man.
How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
You know what? I'm excited to have you back. We were just talking off the air about how I gushed over you the last time you were on because we really liked the show that you were on. But you got a new one out now over on Amazon Prime. This is an interesting one, The Last Late Night.
Yeah, so look, there's so many hour specials out these days, and I thought there's a unique opportunity to do something a little different here. And I thought, why not do a late-night talk show disguised as an hour special? So you go to Amazon Prime, type in Last Late Night, you'll see that it opens like a late-night talk show. The credits, the band, the live studio audience, the set. And then I come out and I do 20 minutes of monologue, topical one-liner jokes. I transition over to the desk and I do 20 minutes of storytelling, and then I transition over to by the band. I do 20 minutes of traditional stand-up, and I have commercial breaks in between with crowd work implemented. So you never get a chance to be bored of like somebody's cadence or tone or delivery, because it's three different styles of delivery and writing. So for me, it was challenging, a lot of fun. It took 5 years to develop and execute this thing.
It fooled me when they sent me the thing to interview you for this. I'm like, oh, Steve got a late night show, and then I started reading. I'm like, oh, it's a special. So you fooled me. Is it something you'd like to do? I mean, I know that's kind of the obvious question there, but
I wouldn't be adverse to it. I'm not as excited about the prospect of a late night talk show as maybe 10 years ago, and that's why the title is The Last Late Night. This is my way of paying homage to a dying form of entertainment. You know, the variety show died during my generation, and now the late night talk show is dying during these guys' generation, the younger kids. It used to be a place where you'd see your favorite entertainers go and talk to Carson, Leno, Letterman, Fallon, whoever it might be. But now all those stars are on social media, and there's 1,000 different streamers with millions of hours of content. So people don't tune in like they used to these shows. They're not what they used to be, and so there's a lot of gimmicks and games implemented in these things. I thought, let's just go back to the basics, do a late-night talk show, do the three styles of writing, and pay homage to the greatest to ever do it, Johnny Carson.
I was going to ask, is that who this is kind of based around?
Yeah, because, these days, all the late-night talk shows and all the political satire shows lean heavily left. And I thought, well, why don't you play it like Carson? If you're going to piss anybody off, let's piss everybody off. Let's go right down the middle, left and right. And then, even on the set, the desk itself has all of Carson's accessories that were there. You got the cigarette box, the cigarette lighter, the mug with the white pencils. And true to form, I even had some whiskey there on the set during the storytelling part.
Let me ask you this. When you walked on that set for the first time, did it just take your breath away?
Yeah, because, I had visualized it. I saw what it looked like. And then when I saw it the day of, I was like, wow, this looks great. But then you turn the lights on, and you see it on camera, and that's when it all popped. And
I gotcha.
I think that's why for 5 years I've been trying to get this thing done. I went to every streamer, every production company that I knew. Everybody passed on it. They said, no, I'm not going to do this. Even the production company that I did it with, they said to me what I heard repeatedly at the taping. They all said the same thing. I understood it when you said it, but I didn't get it until I saw it. And I had it in my head, and to your point, when I saw it all that day before we taped, I was like, wow, we're going to do it. This is awesome. So it all went off flawlessly, yeah.
Steve Byrne on the line with me right now. The Last Late Night is on Amazon Prime right now. We'll put the link up and all that over at the website. Go back. You said this started 5 years ago. How did the idea kind of come to you? Where were you? Do you remember like that moment where it's like, this might be a thing?
Yeah, I'll tell you. If I'm going to be completely honest and blunt, I had a sitcom, I had a documentary film I directed, I had a feature film I directed, I had another hour special, and I could not secure a guest set on a late-night talk show. No one would have me for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea why no one wanted anything to do with me, and I felt like Mel Gibson without saying anything derogatory. I was like, what is going on here? So that's where the true idea came from. It's like, well, if nobody's going to have me on, I'm going to have my own late-night talk show.
Wow.
And the more I started thinking about it, the more I thought, no, you actually can. And three different styles of writing, like monologue jokes, I had to learn the cadence of that. I had to learn how to write those jokes. I think people think, oh, you're a comedian, just go roast that
Yeah.
person. It's like roasting's a different muscle. One-liners a different muscle. Storytelling's a different muscle. That's why Bert Kreischer's a great storyteller, but he's not a great joke teller, maybe, And
Yeah.
Sebastian's a great animated storyteller, but can he sit down for 20 minutes and deliver, jokes? So all those things were things I had to learn how to do myself because I'm not great at those things,
Well, I mean, if you want a really great example of how hard this can be, look at a guy like Chevy Chase.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that bombed completely, and that's not to bring up a different comedian or whatever, but it's not easy.
It's not easy. You're right, and so it's one thing to come up with a concept that could almost pass as a gimmick. But I knew that the material would have to be as good as the concept, if not better, because then what's the point of doing this? So it just took a lot of work. It was all worth it, the sweat equity, everything I put into it, and couldn't be more proud. And some of the best compliments I've gotten have been from my fellow comedians, and that means everything to you when you're doing this.
Has anybody from the late night show worlds, and that's not the late show, but just that genre, has anybody come to you after this and seen it and said, "Wow, that's cool," or "Wow, we should have had Steve on"? That just go back to actually, you know what, Scratch it. Go back to that. Why? How does nobody have Steve Byrne on? Like you said, you had a lot going on,
I don't know.
That show, like I said in the first time we talked, and then today, Sullivan and Son was funny. I mean, that was a good show.
Yeah, it was a total blast. It was some of the best years I had professionally in my life. Those 3 summers were amazing to work on the Warner Brothers lot. But look, I just don't know. I wish I had an answer for it. I think maybe they didn't like sitcoms because multicam is frowned upon in the industry. Single cam is that's where all the rewards are. Parks and Rec, Office, et cetera, et cetera. So Hollywood looks less upon multicams, but multicams are more difficult to do because with a single cam, you film a scene and you look at each other and go, I think we got it. It seemed funny. But with multicam, there's an actual live studio audience there, and they either laugh or they don't. So in multicam, when they laugh, it's like, all right, we got it. But I've been on situations on Sullivan's Son where we didn't get it, and the writers cobble together real quick. You reconvene. You pitch 2 or 3 different new jokes or new lines. You film it again, and if they laugh, great. If not, you got to keep trying until you get that laugh.
That's really interesting, and I'm sorry I got mad for you there, but...
Well, look, believe me, you can be as frustrated as you can, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to perseverance and wherewithal and just saying, okay, well, are you going to complain about the weather or are you going to drive around the storm and figure your way around? So Hollywood is filled with, sob stories and people that threw in the towel. But, when you don't, you end up with a special on Amazon.
Steve Byrne joining me on the line. The Last Late Night is out now on Amazon. We'll have the links on the page, as I said. What else you got going on right now, Steve? I mean, like you said, you've been kind of everywhere. What's next for you then? If that's the
I'm hitting the road to support this now, and then I just wrote my next film that it looks like we're moving forward with. So I can't really talk too much about it, but I'll be directing that, I think, in the back half of 2023. So that's something really, really nice to look forward to.
Can I ask you the real radio thing right now?
Oh, you want to? Oh, about the opening act?
No, you'll come back on the show and tell us about it, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
We're all about cliches here on my show, so.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, you got another movie coming out. You got The Last Late Night out there. Go back to that for a second. What did you keep from it? Because I feel like that's a place that souvenirs would be ripe.
The opening act, I think the only thing I actually have is Cedric's merchandise in it, and I'm looking at it right now. He would sell books at the end of his show called Gotcha This Time, and it was a spoof of Billy Crystal's Still Fooling 'Em. And so it was like a joke merch thing that he had, and that was the one thing I had. I kept a handful of books and gave one to my father and good friends. But I have one in my little case in my office.
How about The Last Late Night? Did you keep anything from the set there? Was anything?
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this.
I have the cigarette box, the lighter, and the Carson mug on my right next to the Billy G merch. So yeah, that's the one thing I kept from the late night.
I was going to ask one other thing because I love Easter eggs. Was there any Easter eggs from the set that we may not have noticed that people should go back
Well, the Carson stuff is definitely an
Yeah.
Easter egg. There's a nameplate on the desk itself, and people are going to think it spells joke. So it's J-O-K with a sideways heart. And that's actually the initials of my family. It's my wife,
Oh, that's cool.
my daughter, and my son, and then I put a heart at the end. So that's the other Easter egg there.
Oh, I love it, man. I love Easter eggs and that stuff. So
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I wanted to put some Carson stuff up, but then you get into rights and clearance issues and everything. But the gentleman who was my band leader, the Neil Sugarcane Trio, Neil has played with Harry Connick for the last 20 years. So that band that you see on there, they're all poached from Harry's band. So I had, 3 members of Harry Connick Jr.'s band on stage with me, slinging jokes and kind of taking liberties with me, which was a total blast.
Oh, that's awesome. The last late night out now. Hey, go back to the beginning of it because I like these stories too. When you told your wife about it, how did she take it? Like, did she go, yeah, it's a good idea?
I think she's always been supportive. I think she just kind of waits to see what it's going to be like as the clay's getting molded,
Yeah.
I think the only thing my wife ever gets apprehensive about is, when I tell jokes about her. And in the special, I have a joke, I've been in entertainment 25 years, and most guys in my situation, you end up with a trophy wife, and I ended up with a participation trophy wife. So, you run that joke by her, and she's like, I don't know about that one. And then it's like, well, I'm going to do it. I think it's a great joke. So the deal was, if I did that joke, she gets the last word in on my special. And that's what ended up happening. So there's a special surprise at the very end from her and my kids, because my kids are a part of it. And so it doesn't get too saccharine. It doesn't get too sweet. It's not Disney. It's there for a reason. So
it's almost it's such good content, the family life stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not turning into like some super clean comic now.
No, but
wearing in front of them and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun way to acknowledge them and their patience and everything over the years too.
Awesome. Well, Steve, you're a good dude. You got a spot on this show whenever you want.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I know it's not late night TV, but just a little station
This is it, baby. This is the big time.
Well, Steve,
we
wish
you a steakhouse after this.
Perfect. We'll go to the truck stop. How about that?
There we go. All right, Sheets. I'll see you for 2 for 1 hot dogs.
There you go. Perfect. Steve Byrne on the line. Last late night out now. We'll have the details up at the site. Steve, we wish you nothing but the best, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
We'll see you, buddy.
All right, take care.